Good morning, everybody. Lonewulfrick here. It is Wednesday morning, about 11 a.m. here on the Las Vegas Strip. These pigeons think it really is New York here. They're flying all over the place. Currently, it's 66 degrees here, heading for a high of 74 today. It's going to be a beautiful day here in Las Vegas. Low this morning was about 45. And I've just been walking, kind of taking it easy. But what I'm going to do today is a little bit different. I'm going to complete my story. It's like there's finally resolution, and the story is now complete. It's like on my Social Security haul from the federal government. So let's kind of get started with that. For people who are kind of new, it's like, watching the videos, I'm going to do a quick update, and it's like, and then get to the points of where it's like I kind of left off. On October the 26th, which was 3 months before it's my 62nd birthday, I filed for Social Security. They said it's like you should file at least, it's like 3 months out, so that's what I did. So 3 months out, it's like I filed October 26th. October 27th, I get an email from Social Security Administration telling me that they received my email and they'll start working on it. And normally it takes 2 to 4 weeks. It's like to do everything and come to a decision. So I thought everything was taken care of. I'm like going through, and then I kind of kept waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And finally I got to December the 17th, and I hadn't heard back from them. And since it said, it's like on their site, it's like, most of the things, it's like, decisions rendered between 2 to 4 weeks. I called Social Security and got a hold of a nice lady, and she said, well, it's like, they're kind of backlogged now. And she goes, she asked me if I got a letter, and I said, no, I have not got a letter yet. I said, I'm going off. It's like, the thing, it's like 2 to 4 weeks. And so she's like, yeah, it's like they're just behind. So she goes, you should hear something by the 25th of January, since your birthday's the 26th of January. So I'm like, okay. So I just kind of kept waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. You see where that's going. So on the 25th of January, I got an email from Social Security Administration. It hit my email at 5:01 p.m. that said they had questions concerning my my Social Security application, and they needed to get a hold of me to rectify these questions. Now I'm thinking to myself, it's like, well, why don't we just wait till the last minute? It's like, and before hitting, it's like, whatever we're doing there. So I'm at that point of where it's like, okay, so, it's like on the 25th, it's like, and she goes, there's a lady, and they got her name, and she goes, you can reach me between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Well, I got that email at 5:01 p.m., so I couldn't call that day, but I got her extension and everything. And so I called first thing at 9 a.m. on my birthday, January 26th. So I went through and I called, and I got a voicemail, and she said, it's like, she's working on other people's cases on the voicemail, standard type thing. She was going to leave your name and number and the best time to reach you. And she said, it's like, I will call you within 24 to 48 hours. So I left my name, left my number, said you can call me anytime between 9 and 5. I'll be waiting for your call. The questions they had was, it's like a thing, and this was in the email. Number one was, it's like, I'm a widower, so it's like I was eligible for spousal survivor benefits. So I was like, so I had the answers ready for that. And then the second one was, when do we want to start this? That was it. That was, it took them like 17, 18 weeks, it's like, to come up with that. So anyway, so the 26th I called, it's like at 9 a.m. And so I waited all day on my birthday, and I never got a call back. I'm like, okay. So the next day on the 27th, I waited all day. It's like, never got a call back. All right, so and since it said 24 to 48 hours, or she said it's like on a thing, and I'm like, okay. So, you know, I've been waiting for 17 weeks. It's like, you know, I better not keep waiting any longer. So I called back. I called back at noontime on the 28th, and I left another message. It's like, you know, I said, I'm just following up. I said, you asked these 2 questions. I have answers for you. Please call back, and it's like, so we can get this taken care of and get it rectified and get it started. So on the 28th, I never got a call back. The 29th and 30th, I think, if my days are all right, here's a weekend, so I knew I was going to get a call then. So Monday was the 31st. I never got a call back. So I called them again. I called her again, right to her voicemail, another voicemail, and did the same thing. I said, hey, I'm just following up. It's like, you know, thing. It's like, you sent me an email, just following up. And I said you would get a hold of me in 24 to 48 hours. I'm making sure everything's okay, so on and so forth. So on the 31st, I heard nothing back. So on the 1st of February, that I'm waiting, it's like, and I heard nothing back. So I called the Social Security number, main number, and this time they weren't as helpful. And in fact, they were a little bit rude. And, you know, I told her what my concerns were in the situation, and she goes, well, there's nothing we can do for you until you get that information to this person. I said, well, that's why I'm calling. I'm trying to get this information to the person. It's like, you know, and I said, it's like, this is what she said. It's like, you know, I think. And they're like, well, did you mail it in? I'm like, no, I didn't mail it. She didn't say to mail it in. She just said, it's like, call and we go over it. It's like, well, you know, you might want to consider mailing it in. I see it's like, you know, they sent you something in the mail. It should be there probably about 4 or 5 days. Like, so, okay. So I'm waiting. It's like, and then on the 2nd, you know, I'm waiting also. And I called the lady back again. It's like, so I'm like, okay, now I'm just going to become a pest. So I actually called her twice on the 2nd. It's like once in the morning and once in the afternoon. Same thing. Hey, you know, it's like, this is going on, blah, blah, blah. This is the whole thing. On the 3rd of February, I got a phone call from her. And it's like, you know what I think. So I finally got a hold of her, or she got a hold of me. And the thing with the survivor benefits, it's like basically would have added like about $200 to what I'm getting. It's like, you know, my Social Security, it's like you're looking at roughly, because I'm taking out at 62 years old, I'm going to get $1,500 a month. And if you know, the other videos I talked about, I said, you know, basically, number one thing, it's like I'm going to pay myself. So I'll take 10 to 20% out of the top every month. It's like in the thing, and pay myself. It's like, you know, put it in savings. And then the rest of it, it's like it's going to use for the YouTube. The YouTube channel can get pretty expensive. And instead of using up all my savings and everything, it's like, you know, realistically, it's like, you know, this would work out perfectly. It's like I would be able to use this stuff and, you know, use the Social Security money and go back and doing this stuff. It's like, you know, that started growing the channel. So I'm listening. I'm like, okay. So she said, it's like, if we do it, it's like, you know, thing, it'll get you up to about $1,700. It's like monthly. I'm like, okay. So I said, what do we need to do that? And she says, we need to cancel what we've done so far. Keep in mind, it's like, you know, I've been waiting now for, you know, like 4 months. So we need to cancel this and then redo a whole new application. It's like, you know, it's like to go through, and it's like we need to get like a copy of the wedding certificate. They said it's like they had a copy of her death certificate, but they needed a copy of the wedding certificate, and they would go from there. And I said, well, how long will that take? And she goes, well, probably about 2 to 3 months. So keep in mind, it's like I've been waiting, it's like, you know, for all this time, it's like to hear back. And my first thoughts is, you know, it's like if you would have let me know the 2 to 4 weeks out, we probably could have done that, and we would have been at this time period, it's like a thing, and everything would have been good. So I did not opt, it's like, you know, for the survivor benefits. Although I can do that, I can go in and redo that, it's like at a later time. And she said it's like, you know, I think if you go in like in August, and it's like, and you can do a revision, it's like on your thing, it's like, and add the survivor benefits. It's like, you know, I said, okay, I said, we'll do that. Then the second thing was, it's like, well, when do we want this to start? And I'm like, well, you know, I said my birthday was January 26th, so it's like I was hoping to start it as quickly as possible. And she goes, well, the quickest we can get this, like, you know, this to you would be on March the 23rd. Because it's like where my birthday is, it's going to be on the 4th Wednesday of every month. That's when I get paid. So it's like March 23rd. I'm like, okay, you know, there's nothing I can do about that. So it's like, you know, the thing. So I asked her more questions about the survivor benefit thing, and she went through, and it's like, and did her thing, and it's like, so anyway, it was approved. I got it approved. It's like, you know, my first pay from the federal government will be on March the 23rd, I think, which is the 4th Wednesday of March. And but it was kind of a nerve-wracking experience, to be honest with you, because you can't talk to anybody, you can't get a hold of anybody, you can't, you know, there's no way that you can figure out, it's like, you know, what's going on and what are they doing. So anyway, it's like, you know, thing, it's been taken care of, it's finally completed. I got an email back, and it's like, and they're sending me a letter that's saying it's approved, this is how much you're going to make, and so on and so forth. It's like, you know, so, but if you're doing this, it's like, and you're doing your own, please be advised. It's like, you know, the thing, it's like, make sure it's like you get your information into them as quickly as possible. And in fact, it's like, you know, realistically, if I had to do it again, instead of doing it on the internet, I might go to a Social Security office if you have one close to you, just so you can talk to a person. I think it's a better peace of mind doing it that way. But yeah, that's it. That's the deal. It's like, so the Social Security is complete, and I will start it in March. And probably it's like in March, I would tell you, it's like basically it's like what we're going to be doing with the channel. And you know, realistically, we're kind of going to go back to the original plans that I had with some traveling. Obviously $1,500, it's like, you know, thing, it's like how much traveling you can do, but maybe once every couple of months, it's like do some traveling and do some hotel room reviews, some staycations, do some slot machine play. Those are the things that's like, you know, they kind of started building the channel when it was really starting to grow. And while I'm happy with the growth, and it's continuing to grow, I think it's like by going back to the roots, it's like will help it grow a lot faster. It's like, you know, than maybe what's happening now. I can tell you, it's like, you know, the thing, it's like, you know, people talk about the slot machine play. It's like, you know, it's like, well, it's going to get kind of expensive, and yeah, that's true. It's like, my thought is, it's like, the thing, it's like, this is going to be like real life gambling. You know, win or lose. It will get posted. It's like, it'll have a running total throughout the year of how much I either won or how much I either lost, and we'll go from there. You know, it's like for the last 3 months, you know, it's like if you look at every month, it's like a thing, you know, what's the top 10 most watched videos? 8 of the 10 are still slot machine videos from, say, a year ago. So it's like I need to you know, be able to keep people's eyes on that stuff and keep watching and add some new content to that. So that's the reason why the slot machine play. And yeah, so it's like that's kind of it. But it's like, you know, as we get into March, it's like, you know, I kind of tell you, it's like this is what the channel is kind of morphing into, and kind of give you an itinerary of like what will be happening. It's like, you know, maybe from month to month, and we'll just kind of go from there. So I appreciate everybody that watches the videos. It's like a thing, but I just want to let everybody know, it's like if you're on that edge of like where you're going to do file for your Social Security, please do it early enough. And like I said, it's like I'd probably go to a Social Security office if you can, and talk to somebody in person. Alright, so if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We greatly appreciate that, and it'll keep you in the loop of everything that's going on. And to our subscribers and everybody who watches our videos, thank you very, very much. We greatly appreciate it. It's like all you do for us and your support. And that's going to do it for today's video. Everybody stay healthy, okay? Uh, take care of yourselves. Take your vitamins. Say your prayers, brother. And just take care of yourself, okay? And we'll see you on the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Everybody take care. Bye-bye, everybody.